Magandang araw sa ating mga manonood. Welcome to the new episode of Mabisang Usapan. I am Rasan from the U.S. Embassy's Consular Section. Joining me today are Eden and Chase from the Non-Immigrant Visa Unit, and they will be answering your frequently asked questions about the interview waiver program for non-immigrant visas. So Chase, can you explain to our viewers what exactly the interview waiver program for non-immigrant visas is?
Of course. Thank you and good afternoon, Roseanne, and to all of our viewers. The interview waiver program is a policy that essentially allows qualifying non-immigrant visa applicants, like tourist visa applicants, to just mail in their visa applications. This means that you do not need to schedule an in-person appointment or come for a visa interview at the U.S. Embassy. We will discuss some of the details and requirements for this program later.
Wow, that is a helpful option for a lot of our Filipino U.S. visa applicants, especially given the current wait times for scheduling an in-person interview at the embassy. And definitely good news for those living outside Metro Manila since they no longer have to travel all the way from Cebu or Davao, right?
Correct. We all know that the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in profound reductions in the embassy's visa processing capacity. And we are taking steps like the interview waiver program to further our commitment to safely and efficiently process visa applications and reduce visa wait times. But of course, like all other visa application processes, the interview waiver program has a set of requirements and steps that an applicant needs to complete in order to take advantage of this option.
Yes, and that is exactly what we are going to talk about today by answering your frequently asked questions about this program. Are you ready, Eden and Chase?
Yes. Let's get right to it.
Okay, our first question is, Hi U.S. Embassy, I am renewing my tourist visa to go to the United States in January to visit the Met Museum in New York. What are the basic qualifications for the interview waiver program?
Ooh, I love the Met Museum. In general, an applicant should have a 10-year tourist B1, B2 visa that is still valid or has expired within the last 48 months or 4 years. But that is just one of the qualifications. The complete checklist of eligibility requirements for the interview waiver program can be found under the Renew My Visa section of our website. So be sure to visit our authorized website for all things U.S. visa for the Philippines. You can also call our hotlines so that one of our service center representatives can assist you in this process. Our service center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, Manila time, and is closed on U.S. and Philippine holidays.
We hope you enjoy your vacation in New York. So for our next question, hello, I looked at the list of eligibility requirements on your website, and I believe that I am qualified for the interview waiver program. My question is, can I still use the photo I submitted in my previous B1, B2 visa application?
Unfortunately, no, you cannot reuse an old photo for U.S. visa application. For Facebook, yes, but not for your visa application. Your 2x2 photo with plain white background must be taken within the last 6 months to ensure that it shows your current appearance.
Next question. I had plans of going to the United States in 2020 to visit my high school friends, but that was canceled due to COVID. I already started compiling all the requirements and I have completed my DS-160 online application form more than a year ago. Can I still use my previously completed DS-160?
We see a lot of questions like this because there are many applicants who already started the process in 2020, before the pandemic hit. And the answer is no. Your Form DS-160 should be completed recently to reflect updated information and travel plans. Please note that the DS-160 should be submitted online right before submitting the interview waiver documents with LBC, our official partner courier. I hope you can go this time and visit your high school barkada in the United States. Enjoy.
Next question. This has been an issue for me for a long time. My name has 2 versions, Ma Antoinette and Maria Antoinette. The name in my expired visa is spelled Ma Antoinette and I need to correct it to Maria Antoinette for the new visa. Can I do this under the interview waiver program?
Unfortunately, no. All data and personal information must be the same on the issued visa. If there's any discrepancy on the visa information, it is the responsibility of the visa holder to ensure that all the information on the issued visa is accurate. The applicant is given 1 year from the visa issuance date to correct the information. To correct your visa, please send your passport to the embassy through the embassy official courier LBC and include a note indicating the information that needs amendment.
All right. Always make sure that the information printed on your visa is the same as the ones printed on your valid passport.
That's right.
For the next set of questions, I heard so much about this topic and I'm also curious about the process. Are you ready, Eden?
Yes.
So the question is, what is the biometrics fingerprints only process for B1, B2 tourist visas under the interview waiver program?
I'm glad that this question came up because this is a very important category under the interview waiver program. There are applicants who have expired or expiring visas that were issued when they are under 14 years old. In this process, as long as their visas have expired within the last 48 months, and their last visa have never been revoked, and the last application resulted in visa being issued, then they likely qualify under this interview waiver category. They only need to go to the embassy for a quick fingerprinting appointment, or what we call the biometrics only process.
So to clarify, if I were issued a tourist visa when I was 13 years old and 5 months, let's say, and it's expired last December 2021, and it was never revoked, does that mean I only have to schedule an appointment to take my biometrics and fingerprints at the embassy?
Yes.
Next question. I see all over social media that the U.S. Embassy wait times to get a tourist visa interview slot are very long. If I do qualify for the biometrics fingerprint-only process, will I be able to schedule an appointment for this immediately? I plan to visit my cousin in Seattle, hopefully during the holidays.
Not immediately, but appointment slots for the biometrics fingerprints-only process have shorter wait times than regular visa interview slots. Once you've satisfied the eligibility requirements for this category, you should log into the appointment system, and on step 3 of the process, you'll need to select the fingerprints-only B1, B2 option on the dashboard. The embassy will review your application and confirm your eligibility for the category, and within 1 to 2 days, you will need to log into your profile again to schedule a biometrics fingerprint-only appointment. If you need someone to help you through this process, you may call our service center hotlines for us to assist you further.
Our next question is, Hi U.S. Embassy, I just completed the application process for this biometrics only category yesterday. How will I know if I am approved or denied? Will the embassy call or email me?
You will not be notified by email, telephone, or SMS regarding your eligibility status. You will need to personally log into your account and check your status. You need to do this after 24 to 48 hours of completing the application process. If you don't see the Schedule a Biometrics Fingerprints Only option on the dashboard, that means you did not qualify and will have to schedule a regular interview appointment. For the regular appointment, you should call our hotlines to schedule a visa interview.
So don't forget to log into your accounts and check your status. Our last question related to the biometrics fingerprint-only process. Is there a possibility that I will be called for a visa interview by a consular officer even if I qualify for the biometrics fingerprint-only IWP process?
Yes, using the biometrics only or fingerprint process does not guarantee visa issuance. In some cases, you may be required to schedule another interview appointment at the embassy because there are additional information that is needed for us to complete the visa application process.
All right, great. Our next set of questions is all about the eligibility of certain age groups for the interview waiver program, specifically those who are below 14 and over 79 years old. This situation was raised by one of our followers. My family is planning to go to the United States for the new year and I need a tourist visa for my 10-year-old son, Aaron, and it will be his first time to apply. Is he qualified for the interview waiver process?
Yes, first-time visa applicants below 14 and over 79 years old may no longer need to appear at the embassy for a visa interview. They simply need to submit their application under the interview waiver program. Detailed information about this process can be checked or accessed on our authorized website under the below 14 and over 79 years old section of the website. Again, please visit our website and check the eligibility requirements before you start the visa application.
That's good news for Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, Chase, the next question looks like a case-specific one. Hi, I submitted all the requirements for my 3-year-old daughter Elaine, such as Form DS-160, 2 copies of her 2x2 photo with white background, current passport, MRB fee receipt, and the confirmation letter, but I received a notification that we have an incomplete application. What is missing?
I may not be able to provide an exact answer, since I need to know the details of the case and do a little bit of research. But, looking at your situation, and the list of requirements submitted, generally, you will also need to submit Elaine's birth certificate printed on PSA paper, that's Philippine Statistical Authority, and a photocopy of a valid tourist visa for either or both parents. But I suggest contacting us via our online form in order for us to provide you with detailed next steps for your daughter's case. Again, that is ph.usembassy.gov/visas. And scroll down to the Contact Us link.
We will make sure that Chase will handle your questions via our inquiry form. Our last question is from a U.S. citizen. I am a U.S. citizen, so I do not have a U.S. visa that I can show in support of my son's visa application under the interview waiver program. Can I submit a copy of my U.S. passport's biographical page instead?
We also get this question a lot, and unfortunately, the answer is no. You cannot submit a copy of your passport bio page for an interview waiver application. Thus, your son is not eligible for to process visa under the interview waiver category. So he will have to go through the regular process of applying for a U.S. visa. For the regular process, please check our website or call the call center hotline for the step-by-step process.
I was just informed that our time is up. We know that there are still a lot of questions about the interview waiver program, but we hope that you now have a better understanding of this process with the key questions we answered today.
And if you have additional questions, please send your case-specific inquiries using our online inquiry form, and someone from the consular section will get back to you.
That's it for today's video. Join us again for another episode of Mabisang Usapan very soon.
Stay safe and healthy.
Maraming
Maraming salamat.